Welcome everyone, welcome to May 2021, Yorkshire Gamers Wargames update, and lots to talk about today. We've got some new units as usual. There isn't a month where something new doesn't come out of the paint studio here. Bit of work in progress with some interesting discussion on a new technique for me anyway, that I've used recently on some figures that you might be interested in, and the usual rundown of new things into the hobby room that I've managed to sneak past the missus this month via the postie. And the big excitement this month, and I'm sure it is for everyone, is that face-to-face gaming will be resuming. There's not much to see here at the moment, but I am in the process of putting a table together for a game on Sunday. We should be kicking off with a bit of Spanish Civil War. Nice and easy just for us to get ourselves back into the gaming ways, and we can remember the rules for that one, I think. And after that, we will be Italian Wars in for quite a bit of time. I just need some photographs of battle scenes and stuff for the publication I've been talking about working on. So that's coming up soon. You can see them in front of you, but the next feature is from the lead pile to the painted pile. So the first new unit to look at is the work in progress from last month, and these are the 28mm tag mounted arquebusiers for the Italian Wars. And I think at this time last month I'd got half of them done, if I remember correctly, and we just finished off. Nice unit, 12 figures. Based on 60 by 50 bases, which is my standard for Italian Wars cavalry. In fact, it's my standard for most cavalry now. 50mm frontage, 60mm depth. And what I've done with these, as you can see, is I've brought them forward so that they're sat side by side on the base, so the horses are a sort of 45-degree angle, and this is because, as you can see there, the leaning over the saddle firing it's a great pose. It's a fantastic pose, but to fit it into a Wargames unit is quite difficult without everyone firing off to the side. So a bit of a compromise. They look a bit daft when they're going forward, but I like the shooting pose, and I like how this particular unit looks. I'll just rotate it around so you get more of a view of what it looks like on the side. And I quite like that. That looks quite good. The front ranks firing, the rear ranks behind waiting to probably move forward and fire themselves and then retreat to reload. It's mounted arquebus and mounted crossbow are just one of those things that you get people on Tinterwebnet who are just going to argue for days and weeks and months about it. And I think the best thing to do with a lot of these controversial things is just to decide that's how I'm going to do it and just crack on, because you can spend ages arguing with people on the internet about stuff that nobody can prove, rather than gaming and painting, which is what we want to do at the end of the day. So there's the mounted arquebus, unit 12, and they'll be in action in a couple of weeks' time, I would think. Just one more unit to look at, new, but it's a pretty big one. So there we go. Here is the second unit, and I did say it was a big one. Not all of this has been painted in the last month. It's half of this has been painted in the last month, and half of this is a previous Pike block that I've just done a little bit of upskilling on. I've added some new flags and just to spruce everything up and get everything into the same format. So what I've done, and historically not everyone's going to agree, back to my previous comment about arguing for months or just getting on and doing some gaming, each row of pike, if you like, column of pike is representative of one Swiss canton. They were all recruited together, so I'm kind of speculating that they would fight together, and how they would do that, we don't know. And yes, the uniforms probably wouldn't be as uniform as they are here, but it makes it a lot quicker to paint, and I think the overall effect, especially in a larger pike block with lots of different cantons represented, I think it works. Just my opinion. These are the older ones, the ones to the left, your left, from the canton of Lucerne with the blue and white flag. And to spruce them up, I've added a Swiss Confederation flag, sold by Flags of War. I don't know why it looks like a Danish flag, ring Flags of War up. And a new Lucerne flag, the one in the middle is hand painted. And the next row are the canton of Bern, which are quite famous for their bear flag, which you can just see at the back there. And you may or may not be able to see somebody in the second rank in the colours of Bradford City. But again, it's completely historically accurate. Dave Sugden from Bradford went on a drinking spree and ended up in medieval Switzerland fighting for the Swiss. Completely true. Next one, another Lucerne block, and again you can see the new Lucerne flag from Flags of War, and a big, you can just see in the background, a big confederation of Swiss flag. And then the far side, I love painting things in black because I undercoat in black, so it means half your figure's nearly done when you start. So this is the canton of Basel. And again, the Swiss stroke Danish flag on that row there. And I managed to knock a pike off setting them up, which is one of the major problems with Italian wars, unfortunately. You either knock them off or they go through your finger. It's one way or the other. For those of you who are interested in this sort of stuff, it's the rear. There's 3 ranks of bases. Each base is double ranked, so 2 ranks of figures. So there's 8 figures per base. The rear ranks are on 60 by 50, which is my standard base in size, 8 figures per base. And then the front ranks, I've extended the front out, so these are now 110mm long by obviously 60mm width. That is A, to protect these pikes, so I've made sure that I've got a bit of buffer there, so there's no room to clip them, and it also protects people's fingers because these are steel pikes and they are extremely sharp. And we've had games of English Civil War where people have left a weekend game with 4 or 5 plasters on the fingers because they're really badly injured. A lot of people comment on these and say, where do you measure, where's the start of the unit? And I'm going to say, I'll probably get myself in trouble again, but if people are arguing about where the base starts and ends, I'm probably not going to be gaming with you for very long. So it doesn't really matter, does it? We count this as the start of the base, and then we have in the past we've experimented with counting that as 2 bases because it's 2 bases in depth. But really, I don't think it matters. I really don't think it matters. So that is the new units that I have painted this month. Let's have a look at work in progress. So here we go, here's the current work in progress, and this is a unit of Italian Spearmen for the Italian Wars. This would be the type of infantry that would form the majority of the Italian armies in the early parts of the Italian Wars. Some debate whether they were using pike at Fornovo, and they certainly graduated from spear to pike during the course of the war. Again, speculation, rumours abound, but I want some of these because the early part of the wars are my particular favourite, and I also like the period just before the French arrive, where you've got the condottieri fighting against each other. So these are going to be a lot of use, and I'm going to try and do quite a few more of these units. The figures are Perry, sort of. They are a mix of the plastic mercenary box set, but the spears are from the French Agincourt infantry box set, and they fit quite nicely, as you can see. They've all come out really well. They've fitted together. There's a few gaps, but that's probably just my modelling skills. So I'll bring one of these towards the camera and just change the lighting a little bit so you can see. So yeah, they've come out quite nicely. You can see there's a big hole in that guy's arm there. I should have filled it in, but I'm absolutely dreadful at modelling, and I'm quite happy to admit that. And looks great, really nice unit, lots of motion. So that's the great thing about plastics, you can move the stuff around and build them up however you like. So there's a couple of things to talk about with these, and first of all is the livery. And there is a group of medieval, high medieval, low Renaissance reenactors from Italy, and I was looking for some inspiration when it came to Italian Spearmen, because nobody makes, or it's quite hard to get hold of these figures. I think Merleton make them, but they don't particularly fit in with what I've got. So I wanted to do something with the Perrys. Looking for some inspiration, found this website, and I'm not going to try and pronounce it. What I will do is I'll put a link to their website in the notes for this video. And I thought, great, them lads know what they're doing. They're Italian, so I just got in contact with them and asked them about their shields, which are these, and they said, "Oh, it's a condottieri who fought for the Sforzas near Milan," and very kindly they sent me a high resolution picture of this banner, which will be the flags as well for the army. And I decided to make myself some decals, as you can see, for the shields. I know you were all thinking I'd painted them by hand. Thank you, but no, they're decals, honest. So dead easy to make these. You buy this paper, decal paper, from eBay or wherever. I can't recommend a particular brand. I just bought a mid-priced one. There are loads of cheap ones, but I've always found never buy the cheapest because they won't work. I've shrunk down the flag that I was sent very kindly from the reenactors to the size of the shields, and you can see there's a little black ring around there, which is just a guide for me of where to cut, and print them off on the decal paper. Just use an ordinary HP inkjet printer, highest resolution settings, let it dry, and then I let it dry overnight. I'm an overnight kind of guy, and once it done that, then I just cut off the bit where the decals are sprayed, so I can use the rest of the sheet again. See, Yorkshire coming in there, saving your brass. And I used Halfords, which is a motor manufacturer, auto car spares in the UK. Clear lacquer spray, sprayed over it 4 or 5 times, just so I've got an even but thin coat of clear lacquer over the top, and that's it. They just work like decals. Unlike your ones that you get with an Airfix kit, let's say, where they come pre-cut on the decal sheet, you have to cut round these. Whatever you put in the water is what comes out, so which is why I've got these little black markers around them. So you can see on the finalised unit, let's zoom in, hope it comes to the right place. You can see on the final unit they've come out really nice. I've had to do a bit of marking on the top of the shields just to blend them in, and then I've blended in the rest of the decal with the shield, because some shields are bigger than others with the Perry stuff. These are the shields that you can buy separately. I think they're £7.50 for 36, and I've just clipped the backs a little bit so they fit on the arms, and that's it. Your own customised decals. Why the Jesus, Mary and the little donkey have I not been doing this for the last 30 years? God knows. And the next 3 armies I've got plans, I've got no shields, which is a real pain in the backside. But I've got some ideas for, I'm going to do a unit Crusaders with my family coat of arms on. So a great thing to have in the bag, and tanks and other stuff I can do with these decals. So nice individual unit. I say nobody's going to have one of these, but I've noticed a few people copying some of my stuff over the years. So I'm sure these will turn up everywhere now. But thank you very, very much to Eugenio from the reenactment group for sending me that. Lots of encouragement from him as well. Really, really nice. And hopefully, because I do spend a lot of time in Italy when I'm on holiday, I'm going to get out and I'm going to visit them, and it's going to be brilliant. So there we go. There's our work in progress, and they're not far off finishing, as you can see. All the figures are painted now. I've just got the last lot of shields to do, get the figures down, get the basing done, so they will be definitely the first figures to feature next month. Thanks very much for listening, and let's go and see how much we've spent this month. Well, how much? How much? And if you remember last month, I haven't spent that much. How does that sound? I did promise that I wouldn't buy much this month, but needs must when the devil drives. And the first one is very much in the need pile. I want some command stands for my Italian Wars army, and I've got at the moment I've got lots of little 2-figure command stands, which kind of, I know brigade is the wrong word, but that size of stuff. Now I want some army commanders, so I'm going to go up a size to 100mm radius base, and the first 2 I'm going to do are my Bezzy mate Cesare Borgia, who that's what my original army was based around, and King Charles the 8th. God, I can never remember Roman numerals. I must have missed that day at school. For the Battle of Fornovo refight, and I'm just using these guys, Steelfish Miniatures. Absolutely brilliant. I'm sure you've seen them, and a lovely note from Simon on the back. He's envious of my Italian Wars collection, bless him. Well, I'm envious of your figures, mate. So we're in the same club. I'm sure you'll have seen these Steelfish Miniatures, but they're just absolutely magnificent. They really are the business. So these figures, these are going to be the 2 commanders. They're just an ordinary pack of charging knights. I've bought the charging. If you buy them in packs of 6, then you get a little bit of a discount. And we're from Yorkshire, who doesn't want a bit of a discount? So these 2 figures will be Cesare and the King. They're just ordinary. Nobody really does personality figures, bar Merleton, I think. And I spoke earlier about the problems getting hold of their figures. So these are going to be King Charles and Cesare, and then I've bought a couple of these guys. These are just dismounted knights, and I'm not keen on dismounted knights for the Italian Wars. I don't think you'd be in a lot of trouble if your top guy's got off his horse, because they worked in lances, so you've got 2 or 3, 4 guys, pages behind them, all with spare horses, and they're getting off first. And big guy, he's staying on the horse. So if you get down to the point where your top man's on the ground, the Wars of the Rose is very, very common, but Italian Wars, I ain't so sure. So that's the first lot. Just 8 miniatures in that box, but God, they're cracking miniatures, and they will turn into command stands very, very soon. Let's have a look at the next one. Okay, the second unit into the games room this month are these. And these are from a company called Gringo 40. And I'm going to blame Fraser from VK for this. I don't know if I hope you're aware. I do a podcast called Yorkshire Gamer's Elite Big Wargames podcast, and my last guest was Fraser from the Von Ketteringham channel. And at the end of the show, I always get people to ask me a question. And Fraser, cracking question, I'm very impressed with this one, asked me if there was a unit that I wanted to paint that I didn't have an army for, just to paint for the sake of painting. And he, bless him, Fraser, the sod, stole Polish winged hussars from under my grasp. So I went for. I'm sure you've got a theme on some of my armies. I'm quite fascinated by the Papal States, and I had been reading not that long ago about a battalion called the St. Patrick's Battalion, which was a unit of Catholic volunteers from all over the world who came to fight for the Papal States in the Risorgimento or something like that. Let's call it the Italian Wars of Independence, when unification was going on and the Papal States was still relatively large compared to the small, tiny Vatican City that it is today. And these figures were my choice, and I hadn't bought them, but after I'd got off put the podcast together with Fraser, I thought, you know what, why not? So I ordered some. So I ordered a battalion, 36 figures, and they are absolutely stunning. Gringo 40, I've not had any of their figures before, but I will be getting some more. Plan with these at the moment is that I'm going to buy quite a few of these. Well, not of these, because there was only one battalion, so I've got that battalion now. But I'm going to buy quite a few Gringo 40s, and I'm going to build the Battle of Mentana, which was 1860, Garibaldi, and Papal States and French, Franco-Prussian, Austro-Prussian, the hyphenated wars time. And it's just going to be a personal project because I absolutely love these figures. And Jed, if you're listening from Gringo 40, I'll be ordering a couple of battalions worth a month, and this will be, I'll chip away at bits of it, I'm sure, beforehand, but this will be my army for the Analog Hobbies Painting Challenge later on at the end of the year. So that's forward planning for you, isn't it? Great unit, 36 figures, looking forward to doing that. I'm going to do the skirmishes. I'm going to do 30 figures close order, 6 figures skirmish. I'm going to do the skirmish figures next. I'm taking a little bit of a break from Italian Wars after I finish that spear unit. So there we go. There's just a little bit more to add in. So next up is the Arab-Israeli stuff I've been working on, which has suddenly become very topical. And this box here, the T62 company, has finally arrived from Element Games after about 3 months. So it's here. These are going to be Syrian tanks, and this is going to be the next project I do after I've finished tinkering around with the Italian Wars. I've got a lot of World War II Kursk stuff to do, and if you remember the massive box last week, this is kind of all part of that big story. Very much doubt I'm going to play Team Yankee with them. I got a copy of Battle Group Northag, which I should have shown, it's downstairs, this month as well. They haven't got any Arab-Israeli stuff in there, but one guy's done some kind of lists on the Facebook group. Got chieftains in there, which is I don't understand at all. But it's something to work with. And I'll have a look at Battle Groups North Ag, but this is going to be probably my big summer project. I've also bought some more stuff I've got probably enough now. I'm probably going to buy a few more stuff for the Syrians earlier on. This month. I've got these guys, a Met Company. I know they're Iraqis, but they're fairly similar. And some lovely little Jeeps for my Israelis, recce platoon. Then I've got some heavy weapons for the Syrians. A lot of BMP2s. And I'm going to need to zoom out a bit, aren't I? There we go. And last but not least, we've got these guys, and then 113 platoon. So I've got quite a nice balanced force for both sides now. I'll probably get a few more tanks. I've got, for the Israelis, I've got 3 Merkava and 5 M60 Magat 6s. And for the Syrians, I've got 5 T72s and 5 T62s. So I'll probably get some more T62s because they're not going to last very long against the Merkavas. And get it all painted up, get it on the table, and then we'll see where we go from there with what more we add to it. So that's everything that's coming to the games room this month. And no gaming to show, report from the front line this month, but there will be next month, because once I've cleared this away, I'm going to put the table out for the Spanish Civil War game. Looking forward to it. So let's have a look at the scores on the doors. So it's time to have a quick look, a quick personal look. I don't know if anyone watches this bit, to be honest, but it's great for me looking back over the months to see the trends and the sort of things that's happening. I'm a numbers guy, I'm an engineer, and I love this sort of stuff. So Facebook is just up 8. Anyone else who's got a Facebook page out there, a blog page, the new format for Facebook is an absolute nightmare. And you're always flicking between profiles, and it's a nightmare to find anything. And I think it's just an excuse to try and get you spend some money. So no surprises that Facebook is, as you've probably seen over the months, grinding to a halt. No problems there. It's a great way of sharing information, and the unit that you saw in the work in progress, the Italian reenactors who are that unit, contacted me through there. So it's a fantastic method of getting hold of people from other nations, other parts of the world. And one thing I want to do with my podcast is spread the wings and fly around the globe. I've got something organised for South Africa, I've got something organised for Canada. There was a guy in New Zealand on Facebook who never got back to me, which is a real shame, because they had some great massive games in Wellington. I'd really like to speak to them, but if they don't want to, that's fair enough. I've got a couple of contacts that have been suggested to me in Australia, which would be great. So if you've got any suggestions for people from different areas of the world, that would be great. I was chatting with a young lad on Instagram a couple of weeks ago from South Korea, who just wanted some tips and stuff from starting in the hobby. So it's all over the world, and I'd love to speak to people who are big gamers in any country from around the world, and we can have a chat about the wargaming scene in their country. Twitter's I didn't realise anybody knew it followed me this month. It's up at 136, creeping up on 2,000. Instagram, somebody tell me what I've done. I've got no idea. Last 3-4 months it's been 300, 400. I'm creeping up to 2,000 now. I've got no idea what I've done. I'm just painting the same old, posting the same old pictures of figures, but for some reason it's gone through the roof. But it's great. It's all advertising the hobby, which is what we like. YouTube's another healthy rise there, up to just shy of 900. I'd really like to get 1,000 subs. That seems to be like a benchmark with a lot of people in the gaming hobby, so I'd love to get there. Podcast, we're up 9. Nice steady growth. Podcast is going from strength to strength. The episode 5 with Mark Freeth that was this month hit the highest downloads for a week, for the first week, and Fraser from Von Kessering's it looks like he's just going to go past that. So it's nice to see more people listening, nice to see more people engaging. It's really good, really positive. So that's the results from the scores on the door. So I'll just leave you with this scene. Thank you for watching for this month of May. Been going for over a year now, these monthly updates, and it still amazes me that 400 or 500 people tune in and watch them every month. I am really, really grateful for it, and it's great to just talk to other people in the Wargames hobby about what they're doing. Thanks for all your comments and likes and chats below and on other posts. We've got Dave the cameraman here, just filming our Italian late medieval reenactors. That unit will be finished for next month. We'll have done some gaming by the time we come back next month. I'm sure a lot of us will have done. And I think it's going to be a great summer. Fingers crossed we don't go into lockdown again. Everyone here will have been vaccinated because we're all of that sort of age. But it's been great to talk to you, and I'll see you again next month. Sidney.